Welcome to the 152nd episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we will be talking about it. Today, we are recording on October 26, 2019. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I am 50% of this here show. With me is new regular co-host and man about town, Carlos Rodella. How you doing, Carlos?
What's up?
What is up, indeed? Indeed. How are things with you, sir?
Good. I don't know if I'm a man about town, though. What does that entail?
It's like, it means you're kind of like an up-and-coming dude full of energy, kind of going to parties, kind of living the life, you know, kind of a party guy kind of
I
thing.
don't know. Also, up-and-coming makes me a little depressed because I'm like, haven't I already been here for a while?
Haven't I been paying my dues for the last 20 years?
How about we just say, like, I'm man about doing the same thing he's been doing for 10 years?
It doesn't quite have the same ring to it, but I will go through my thesaurus of catchphrases to describe dudes, and I will find something that fits you a little better. But we're gonna go with this for now. We're gonna let it go.
Okay.
All right. Good. All right, folks, we are back. Second episode of the new era. But before we jump into this week's games, I definitely want to let you all know that we're still retooling things, finding a new rhythm, new people, new rhythm, rebuilding the show into a new thing now that Corey's on extended leave. Hello, Corey. Hope you're listening. Hope you're doing well. If any of you listeners have any thoughts, comments, feedback, requests, this is the perfect time to let us know what you, the listeners, would like out of the show. You can catch our contact info at the end. But if you have any thoughts, anything you want us to do, change things up, different order of things, different segments you'd like to see, anything we haven't done, of course, Carlos is here. He is a force of creation. He's going to have some ideas about what he wants to do. So we're open. Nothing is set in stone. So anything you want, let us know. Carlos, do you have any segments or changes that you are kind of cooking up?
Yeah, I like the idea of us talking about what games we're going to get into at the end of the show, and we added that last episode, which I think that's groovy. I remember talking to somebody in a comment somewhere, I think it was SoundCloud or Game Critics, and they were mentioning about banter. You and I have been known to banter.
We have been guilty of bantering.
Yes, bantering all over the place, which sounds bad. But
it sounds messy also, which is disgusting.
We don't want to clean up the banter. Whoa, there's a weird metaphor.
I don't have enough tissues for that. I'm going to have to get some cleaning supplies.
Yeah, so let's put that on hold. But I like the idea of maybe, people do banter in the beginning, and I'm always like, just get to the games. And then people do banter at the end, and I miss it. So maybe banter in the middle?
I'm thinking natural sprinkling of banter as we go. But it's hard to say because I know that some people really liked having a focus show, like the previous iteration of So Video Games. What we would do, folks, and I know that some of you regular listeners already know this, but just FYI for the new people who came on board to catch Carlos, or if you're new to the show, welcome, etc., etc. But what Corey and I would usually do is we would get on Skype and we would just to warm up, we would do like a little banter just to talk and get the juices flowing and just to kind of get ready to record, and we would do the banter first. But, I mean, me personally, I hate it when banter comes first. I fucking hate it. So since, this was a show we were doing, I'm like, no, we can talk it first, but we can't keep it first because I cannot put out a show that I can't stand. That doesn't jive in my head, right? So we would always cut it and switch it and put it at the end. But there's a fair number of people out there who like the banter first, which I respect. I totally respect that. I hate it, but I respect it. And
it seems like a lot of the banter revolves around food for some reason.
Oh, man, we talked about food a lot, movies and stuff. I mean, we just, we would hit the same kind of stuff over and over, which is whatever, here nor there. But I think, Carlos, now that you and I are here and, we kind of have a different vibe than Corey and I did, I'm happy to roll with something new. I mean, maybe we'll just start talking about games, and if we feel a tangent coming on, we'll just do that, and we'll just see where it goes. But maybe not take it too far afield, because I don't want it to, get too wandery and tangential. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll just go for a natural flow, I guess. And folks, if you have any comments, hit us up. How's that sound?
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Okay, anyway, that's enough bullshit. Let's get to the games. We have a lot of games to talk about. Holy shit. I don't know how we're going to get through all these.
So many. We were talking during the week going like, how are we going to... Well, we're going to have to cut some because there's too many.
Literally too many. We did cut a bunch, but we still have a shitload left over. Let's get right to it. Carlos, I'm going to start with you. You're talking about Session, which is currently in early access. I don't know anything about this. What is going on? What do we need to know? What's the deal?
Yeah, these early games we're going to talk about kind of all are quick. So not a ton of information, but I will say that these ones I've been trying. Session I've been following for a while because if you like Skate, which was the more realistic Tony Hawk skateboarding game, you would like this game. Again, it's super early, and it's the true definition of early access because the physics are kind of janky at times, but that's to come, to expect out of early access. I've been following it for a while because I really love the idea of this natural, realistic skateboarding, and then when you have fails with physics, it's always awesome. And I basically bought this because I knew it was going to be crazy with the physics, and made a ton of GIFs, and holy crap, people enjoyed them, because who doesn't enjoy seeing someone like eat shit on a skateboard?
That's a whole subgenre that I'm not sure we want to explore on this show, Carlos.
Oh, no. I see you took it there. I didn't.
You brought me there, my friend.
When you fall on the skateboard.
Uh-huh. Anyway.
There's ragdoll physics, and the only thing that they probably have to work on is when you aren't going to make a trick, it like triggers that fail state, and the fall should be cool looking, but I think it just triggers it too early, because sometimes it just looks like the character goes to sleep. Someone said it's like narcoleptic skateboarder.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. I would love to play narcoleptic skateboarder.
Which, by the way, no offense to anybody who has that, because I'm sure that's like
really a real thing. I know people with that. It's a serious problem. It fucks people's lives up.
But this is just the kind of like they need to maybe just delay that kind of fail state a little bit and let the character kind of fall as it more naturally would. That being said, go to my Imgur, which is my shameless plug right now. Imgur.com/user/a-lot-of-things-8. Doesn't roll off the tongue, but that's where you can find that. That is not catchy
at all. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
We're gonna have to post the link or something.
Yeah, we'll post the link. But anyways, yeah, I'm enjoying it because it really feels like, it is realistic, and where one button is your left foot and another button is your right foot. So when you're pulling off tricks, you're not just like pushing down like on Tony Hawk and then jumping and doing a million, crazy combos. You have to really time it. You have to really think about physical weight, where you're leaning on the skateboard. And for all of its, failures and fails, when you pull off something and then you did it the way that you, like had to do it like in real life, it feels amazing. So I think this is one to look for, and keep looking at it as it progresses. It's by Creature Studios, and I'm really pulling for them because I think they got something really cool here.
So a couple questions. What are the graphics like? Is it like stylized, or is it like realistic, or what kind of vibe are they going for?
Yeah, it looks just like Skate. If you've seen Skate before, it's very realistic.
Okay, so very realistic, like actual like human models, like they got faces, and it's not 2D, it's not polygon, it's not abstract or anything.
Nope, it's straight up like it's Skate. I mean, they must have had a huge inspiration from them.
Okay.
And I remember seeing it, at a couple shows a couple years ago, and just kept following it. And then as soon as it was available, I was like, "Yep, I need it."
All right, cool. And I don't remember Skate very much. I'm not sure that I even played it, but I know of it. And in Session, is it like, are there levels? Are you in like a skate park? Is it open world? Like, what kind of are they going for?
Yeah, sorry about that. There's only one big, huge map for right now.
Okay.
But that being said, I've played other early access games, and the map is super small, and this is pretty big, because I kept going around a corner and thinking it would just be the end of it, and there was more. So there's a lot of fun stuff to play with and try to grind and stuff like that. So yeah, it is. I love it. It's so not ready yet, but as I can attest, because I work at a developer now, it's really fun to be in early. Me personally, I love bugs. I love fails. I love physics, and I like seeing the progress of it. So yeah, I'm just excited.
That's funny. We used to podcast a lot in the past, and then we got busy. Life took us our separate ways. I started doing the show with Corey, and now that we're talking about this, I am reminded that you are definitely the guy that likes early access stuff. I remember when we were doing your former podcast, Video Game Break, that you would often bring like early access and betas and stuff, right? I mean, you're that guy. Yeah,
I'm definitely that guy, but I also, love a polished, amazing experience, which we'll get to in this episode. So I like both.
That's cool. I'm going to leave most of the early access stuff to you because I hate early access stuff.
I'll take it all.
Take it all. I'm going to give it all to you. You're going to be the early access guy, and that's just how we're going to roll.
Oh wait, I can't say.
Yeah, that's trademark. Now we got to pay them fucking $100 now, dude.
No,
dude, you
episode's canceled.
Fuck. Okay. All right. Anyway. All right, moving on. I got a couple real quickies to talk about here. So, Carlos, you've played Helldivers. I remember we I don't know if
played together on the couch, I think.
Did we? Something like that. We played it like real briefly.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best, if not the best, multiplayer game like ever created in the history of gaming. I don't think your feelings are quite as strong. How do you feel about Helldivers?
I like it quite a bit. I remember you loving it, and as soon as I saw this news, I was like, oh, there's a Brad somewhere who's very excited.
Yeah. So, folks, Helldivers is one of my favorite games of all time, of all games ever. I love this game. I played this game so much. It is a top-down, third-person, squad-based game where you play as kind of like... What is the movie that it riffs off of? Can you remind me?
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm talking about.
Space.
It's the one, there's soldiers, there's giant bugs. What the fuck is it?
Oh no.
Come on.
It's almost like you made
Carlos
me
and
forget
Brad.
it.
I know, I forced you to forget. Okay, Google it or
Space
something.
Pirates. No, I'm just going to call it Space Pirates.
It is 100% not Space Pirates. I can't remember what this movie is called that it's taking a riff off of, but it's a very famous sci-fi parody or satire kind of movie. Fuck. God, we suck.
Just
suck.
move on. Just move on, and I'll find it.
Anyway, it's, they have so derailed right now.
Because you can't remember.
I know, it just threw me from my game. There's lots of themes of patriotism in a sarcastic way. They shoot bugs. You go down to a planet in squads of 4. And the thing that made Helldivers really unique to me was that you can call down new gear from your dropship that's in orbit above you. So you go down to these bug-infested planets. You have these little D-pad motions that you can do to call down gear. And then you can bring down like guns or vehicles or, whatever. And you play in a squad of 4 optimally. You can play it by yourself. You're not going to get too far, but you can. But optimally squads of 4. The multiplayer was wonderful. And it had friendly fire, which made this game absolutely stand out from everything else in the pack. Because you had to be on point. Check your fire. Watch what you're doing. Watch out what you're about to throw. Watch out what rocket you're going to shoot. Because you could easily take out your comrades. And you could bring them back, which was great. But, like, if you were in the shit and then all of a sudden you shot your buddy in the head, you're down a man. Like, you are in trouble if you don't have that backup. So I love the tense feeling. I love the combat. I went through the entire game with my wife. I believe I got every achievement. I think I did everything in the game. Really, really, really good times. I love Helldivers.
It almost feels like a Diablo in a way, didn't it? Because you wanted to like take out all the maps and stuff.
Exactly. There's definitely a little bit of Diablo influence there for sure. There is whatever that fucking movie is.
Oh, and the movie is Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Helldivers. One of the best things, and also one of the other things that is really great. It was one of the few games where playing with randos was awesome. Like, I really enjoyed playing with randos. I did it all the time. I met a couple cool people that were randos playing the game, and it had like just a really, really positive experience because the community is really focused, and there's a lot of good people playing it, and I just had a really good time. So that was one area where I ended up really liking the multiplayer, even if I didn't have my wife to play with. So Helldivers, one of my top 10 games of all time, one of my favorites. It went dark for a while. The studio, Arrowhead Studios, didn't do anything else. Like, they just went quiet. They went dark. I was like, are you guys working on a sequel? Are you new game? Did you all fucking retire? Like, what happened? Like, where did you guys go? Didn't hear much for that studio for a long time. They put out one little small update a while ago, and then that was kind of it. And I still don't exactly know what they're doing, but they just announced there's still new content coming for Helldivers. It's been like, I want to say 2 years since the last time they added something to the game. I thought the game was done. I thought it was over. I was, had my memories and I had moved on and I was ready to just, forget that it was around. And they're like, no, we got new stuff. And I'm like, holy shit. So I think that by the time this podcast goes up, the new stuff may be out. I need to go check it.
What's it called?
It's called Helldivers Dive Harder. So that is the new add-on content. It's got new modes, which are kind of like training modes that are like challenge arenas, which I think are going to be pretty cool. There's a bunch of new guns, new equipment that you can get, and there's some tweaks to it. So it's not like a major update, but if you're a Helldivers fan like me, like anything is great, and I'm super psyched that there's going to be new stuff to play. So just a heads up to everybody out there. I haven't gotten into it yet, and I think it may be out soon if it's not already out, but even a little bit of new Helldivers is wonderful news to me.
Yeah, and I hope that this is kind of sparks their, or maybe they're already working on like campaign stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. God, I mean, I just have no idea. I don't know what they're doing. How are they feeding themselves? Are they selling something? What is even? Do they all have other jobs? I don't
They
even
might
know.
all have other jobs.
I mean,
yeah.
maybe. But anyway, I love Helldivers. I play the best on PS4, but I think it's on Vita. I think it's on PC. I don't know if it's on Xbox though, and I definitely don't think it's on Switch. So you might have to go. I say PS4 is probably the best way to play.
Yeah,
it,
I loved it on PS4. That controller. I would say my memory from that was getting killed by the drop pod.
Oh yeah.
Because you can actually die as you get, or the other person can die if you get resurrected. Because when you get resurrected, you're brought like a little drop pod comes down, but it comes down really fast.
It's like a fucking rocket hitting the planet.
Yeah. And you're like, oh damn.
Yeah, like your buddy dies, you call down reinforcements. The reinforcement pod comes down, crushes you because you're standing in the wrong place, but then your buddy's there, so hopefully they can bring you back.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's shenanigans. It's fun. It's awesome. It's really well tuned. I love Helldivers, but. So that's the thing. If you haven't played Helldivers, play it. I love it. And my gold star seal of approval. The other thing I want to give I don't want to say a shout out because that sounds too positive. I need to be a little bit negative on this one. Brand new game that just came out for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. I'm playing it on Switch right now. It's called Dark Devotion. It is a 2D side view platformer, but it's also a little bit like a Souls-like, and it's also a little bit like a roguelike. I don't exactly know what it's about. You basically play a girl who's in a temple. You're supposed to get to the bottom of the temple. You can only drop down ledges. You can't climb up them. And unless there's a ladder, you can't get back up. So it's kind of got this feeling of you going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, which is kind of cool. You have different weapons to pick from, and there's like a blocking mechanic, and there's stamina. So it's fairly Souls-like in that aspect. I started playing it on the Switch, and I'm like, okay, this seems fine in general, but there is a problem. There is a big problem with Dark Devotion. It is too fucking dark. And when I say it's dark, I don't mean like the themes are depressing or it's like, a sad game. I mean, I can't fucking see what's on the screen. It is literally too dark.
And it's in the name of the game. That's funny.
I mean, they are very upfront. Dark Devotion, yeah, sure is. It is fucking dark in here. And I want to play this game because I like what I've seen so far, the little bit that I've seen. But like, in order for me to play this game, I had to crank the brightness. Like, I mean, almost to the max, but you can't really do it to the max because then you get a weird washed out look to the screen that doesn't.
It just looks gray and stuff.
Yeah, it looks gray and it doesn't really increase the visibility. But I had to crank the brightness, fiddle with the settings, and then I had to be in a 100% dark room with the Switch like pushed up to my face so I could see what was going on. And I was still dying. Like, there's these traps that are there, and sometimes you just can't see them. There's a lot of spike pits that you could easily avoid, but if you can't see them, you walk right into them. And like last night I was playing, I walked into the same fucking pit like 9 times, and I knew it was there. And I kept falling into it because I couldn't see where the fuck it was. And
it seems like the worst type of game to be dark.
Oh my god, dude. And like, I just got really frustrated with it. So I sent an email to the developers, and I'm like, look guys, like, fucking knock it off. Like, whatever you're doing, please fix this.
Wait, would your email just knock it off?
I mean,
hey guys, knock it off.
Knock it the fuck off, you guys.
They're
I know
like,
you're trying to
what?
be cool and edgy. I know you want it to be spoopy and dark. I can't see anything, and I want to play this game. It just needs to be patched. It needs to be fixed because I just can't see it. And I mean, I got to be honest. Like, you don't need to have a dark game for it to be scary or oppressive. I mean, I just talked about Blasphemous a while ago. Blasphemous on the Switch. You could not have themes that were darker than Blasphemous. It's all about like self-sacrifice and about sin and about innocent people being killed and blood, and like, it's the darkest shit. And yet that game's graphics, super bright, super colorful. I could easily see what was going on the screen. It was very easy to play. I really appreciated that about it. And there's there's plenty of games out there that can be dark that do not require it to be literally dark. So I'm just really frustrated. I don't like dark games in general because I believe that video, in the term video games, is there for a reason. I believe you should probably see what you're playing. Call me old school. I think you should see the video. So that's all I got to say right now. I really like what it's doing. I want to play more, but I just can't see it. And I really hope the developers realize that it looks like shit in handheld mode on the Switch. They need to fix it.
Yeah, it's funny because isn't it also a roguelike in a way?
It
is.
is.
I was looking it up. And so that's like another terrible thing. You want to be able to see everything because you're going to have to go back to the same place over and over again, like you said, with that pit.
It's exactly what I'm doing. You only have
golly.
3. At the point of the game I'm at, you can only get hit 3 times. And if you take 2 hits because you can't see stuff and you've only got 1 hit left, and this game is hard, just, without the darkness, without the pits, I mean, the combat can be fairly challenging. It's too frustrating.
And you know me, I am not a roguelike person. That is another characteristic of mine. And so you do that, and it's hard to even play it. Yeah. The thing is, though, it sucks because I'm looking at the images, and the graphics look pretty cool.
Yeah, the graphics are great. The sprite work is really nice. Like, I think they have a very good thing going. They just fucked themselves by making it too goddamn dark. So, like, dudes, just chill. Put some light in your game, and I would very happily come back to it. I really want to play it some more. I like it. I just can't see it. So, yeah.
All right, I hope they do that, maybe.
Let's see what happens. Okay, turning it back over to you, Carlos. Trover Saves the Universe DLC. Now, I have not played this game, but Jared Johnston did review it for us at Game Critics. He liked it a lot. It's a VR game from one of the guys that does the what's that fucking show? Oh, Rick and Morty. I've never seen the Rick and Morty show, and I know that
what?
I've never seen it. No, have not seen it.
Holy crapola on a stick.
I'll tell you what, man. I was gonna watch it because one of the guys behind Rick and Morty was one of the guys behind Community, and I really love Community. I thought that was a great show. But then all these weird, obsessive asshole fans came out for Rick and Morty, and it really turned me off of the whole thing. Like, the fandom is, like, apparently really toxic. So I was like, I'm going to give this a pass for now. And I just steered clear of the whole thing.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. It's I do like Rick and Morty, and the game is VR, but also not. So you can just, like, play it regular on your screen.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, and so I really liked it because there's a couple things to say about it. I played the original when it first came out. I played it as soon as it was released. And now there's DLC, which I'll go into in a second. But, yeah, the general game is if you're not playing in VR, you can just look at the screen and you control a character who's in a chair, like first-person view. And that person is just watching the action. And your controller moves. Anything you do on the controller is controlling Trover, who's in front of you in the world.
So wait a minute. Wait, hold on.
I know I did. I think I messed that up. So
you, the player, are playing a character that's in a chair, and that character in a chair is controlling another character in the game world. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's it. And so in VR, confusing. That makes a lot of sense because it's just like it's essentially first person. You're looking at this character, which they do. They've already done. Like VR games do that a lot with platformer games.
Okay.
Where you're kind of just looking at a character and he's moving around.
Okay.
So that's the same style, but then when you do it on a screen without VR, it actually works. Like it's a really unique experience, but. I think the way that they created Trover's like attack and roll and jump abilities, they're really fun to play. So you kind of just deal with the fact that you're looking at this thing in the distance. And it's interesting. There's a video on YouTube about we know what first-person games are, we know what third-person, but we don't know what second-person games are. And this is essentially that because you're kind of like looking at another player. And controlling them. So that's the mechanics of it. It's actually really fun without VR. I enjoyed it, but I mainly got it because I do like Rick and Morty, and I like Justin Roiland. His humor is just ridiculous, and he basically made a whole game studio called Squanch Games to make video games, and this is their first one. I bring it up because I had forgotten how much I really enjoyed the humor. It's just very improv-y. The characters and the NPCs in the world are basically Justin Roiland, just, bullshitting. And that's refreshing to have in a video game because so many, like, NPCs are either super robotic, right? Hi, how can I help you today? Hi, how can I help you today? Or they're, drama acted, but they're not, very rarely are they comedic. And it's hard to pull that off, especially improv comedic. So my kudos to this game and the DLC is that the DLC is like a short little area where you just basically do odd jobs around the space station, but you don't get it for that, and you don't get the game for that. You get it for the conversations. So I walk up to the same person like 3 or 4 times, but they have 3 or 4 different stories to tell me and ways to tell me to fuck off. Like, get the fuck out of here, you dummy, you piece of shit, get out of here. And I could listen to that all day. So if you like Rick and Morty, get Trover Saves the Universe, and if you like the game, just pick up the DLC because it's more of the same.
It's funny that you're saying that because I don't know quite what the humor of Rick and Morty is. I mean, I kind of judge by the fans that it's really irritating and I might not like it because I've had some irritating run-ins with some of the fans, and they're very vocal about being fans, and I find the whole thing to be kind of weird. So
weird. I don't even look at that side of it though. Like that's interesting.
I try not to, but like when I was at PAX, I mean, every third person was dressed up like the scientist guy. Is he Rick or is he Morty? Which one is the scientist?
Oh, it's Rick.
Okay, yeah. There was like every third person was Rick. And some of those people were just like being real assholes. So that kind of turned me off the whole thing. I realize you shouldn't judge the content of a thing by its fans, and that's not a fair comparison and all that. But it's like in the world where I'm living in, where I have such limited free time, I find it really easy to cut things out of my life that just don't immediately click with me. And having those run-ins with those people, whether that's fair or not, probably very unfair.
Yeah, I would say that the humor of it is, and I'm not sure, I don't know if I know your full level of what you like humor-wise, but it's just that really ridiculous humor that really feels like it's improv, because Justin and Dan Harmon both, have fun with, yes, they're writing scripts, but they're also having fun while they're recording it. And Justin will do like 12 takes of the same line. And it really truly feels like different things. Like one whole episode is just them looking at intergalactic TV, where every channel is like something insane. Because it's like anything that could ever happen in any universe, parallel reality, is on this television. And each one is like, hey, welcome to the Beatles in his eyes show. This guy's got Beatles in his eyes. What the fuck's this all about? Holy shit. And then it cuts and there's another episode with something crazier. That's kind of the humor. It's just like ridiculousness.
I will have to take your word for it. I mean, maybe I'll check it out sometime because I know it has a lot of fans, and I do like Dan Harmon's work. I'm not familiar with Justin Roiland, but I do remember Jared saying that if you like that humor, this is absolutely that jam. So for people out there who know it and you like it, I mean, this is two people who are saying that if you like that humor, this is all about the humor. So, I mean, there you go.
Yep. And two people equals get it.
Get it if you like that stuff. Yes, absolutely. All right, dude. Let's move on to something else that I know a little bit more about, which is golf. You're playing What the Golf, which I realize is the world's most realistic golf simulator. Real physics, real characters. It's got the PGA logo. Is that the game we're talking about today, Carlos?
No, you're wrong.
Oh no, my notes are wrong.
Notes.
Oh no. Okay,
yeah,
what are we talking about?
I don't know what those notes were. Yeah, this is Jack Nicklaus golf. No, it is. I just kept hearing about it through the grapevine. I don't know. And people kept saying, you got to check this thing out. It's weird. And it kind of reminds you of WarioWare, which is a minor spoiler.
Wow. I don't think of WarioWare when I think of golf.
Right, which is no one has until now. That's why What the Golf is here.
Okay.
I also used it because it was a game that was only available currently, maybe somewhere else, but I think it was at the time only available on Epic Game Store, which I had not used yet because of various reasons. The process, by the way, of installing Epic Games Launcher was kind of annoying, and it made me go out to a browser to log into it, and I was like, but I'm already in the app. What? Why? So I didn't like that experience. But when I finally got in, I picked up What the Golf first purchase, and it is like Katamari Damacy, Nobi Nobi Boy, Watam, which is coming out soon, and Donut Country. Or is it Donut County?
Donut County.
County, yeah. So it's like those where you're like, what is this game? What's the next level going to be? Holy shit, this is weird. And in a very, very good way. It is the most addictive thing I'm playing right now.
So let's back it up a little bit. I don't have a very good idea of what's going on. You said a lot of games that I like Donut County and WarioWare.
Well, that was the setup.
Katamari Damacy. I mean, I get it, but it's like, okay, so like break it down. Is this like level by level? Like, how does it play? How much golf is in this golf game? Like, what are we even talking about here?
Okay, I'm going to only give the bare minimum answers, okay?
All right.
It is a golf game in the sense that you have a power meter and an angle meter, that the traditional golf meter type thing.
Okay.
That you can slide around, so you can aim it, so it's not just like in one direction. Aim it, pull the power back, and let go. That's the only golf mechanic in the game, really. There's also a hole, but that hole could not necessarily be a hole. There's let's just say, destination. So if you put in your mind those two ideas of golf, those are in the game.
Okay.
But what happens when you get in there is not necessarily just golf. I think the very first hole is actually golf.
Okay.
And then it's never really golf again. And how you traverse this whole world of like many, many levels and different, in quotes, holes is by literally pushing your little golf ball around this like space station or some sort of like facility. And as you push the golf ball around with that same golf meter, right, aiming and doing the speed, it hits different buttons, and then those little buttons open up holes, and then you can go in those holes, and they become levels. So you're basically clearing out levels in this huge somewhere station. And then as you open up more things, more doors open, and you can get to different levels. But then every time you go in one of those levels, it becomes a course, and whatever that course is different each time. So I'll give you one small example. The first time you hit the golf ball, it goes to the pin and goes to the hole, and that's it. It says, yay, hole in one or something. And then the second time you swing, your actual golf club just goes flying. And your golf club is the thing that has to make it to the hole. And it just has to hit the flag. And then like the third time maybe your whole person goes flying, because now you have a person who's aiming, and then the person is the thing you have to push to the hole.
So it's just like the basic concept of getting a thing to a location, but it could be like different items, or maybe there's different challenges along the way. So it's not just trying to get a hole in one. It could be okay. What's
let me give you one more spoiler, because I want to give people. I want to give you a crazy one, because I want people into this game, because it quickly escalates into. I mean, when you start playing, you just like at your computer, just laughing. You're like, how are they even doing this? There's a nod to Super Mario Brothers. I'll say that, complete with music that's like original music that they made that sounds like Mario Brothers. There's a part where it's like Flappy Bird. There's a part where it's like you're shooting arrows at things. It's insane, dude. And it is so addictive, because it was like 1 a.m, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed, but I just could do one more of these holes.
Is it?
It's fucking great, man.
It sounds really good. It's coming to Switch pretty soon, and I think that's where I was kind of waiting for it. But is it kind of the thing where it's like you spend like 15 seconds on a hole and then you move on, or is it like pretty in depth? Is it challenging, or like what kind of a vibe are they going for? Like, are you finding yourself doing a hole like 20, 30, 40 times, or is it just more of like a gimmicky, oh, that was really fun, and then you do it 1 or 2 times, then you move on? Like what kind of a pace are they going for?
Yeah, they're going for fast, but at the same time, each hole has 3 levels. So after you beat it, you can go back in and say, okay, give me a challenge number 1. And sometimes that challenge is quite different. Like almost every single time it's quite different. Where like the same hole, it'll be a totally different type of thing you have to do, but with some of those mechanics they introduced. So like one time there's a mechanic of skateboarding at some point, and you beat it, but then you pick the challenge level, and now you're like going down this crazy hill that wasn't even in the original hole. And then there's also the crown level, which is after that. And if you beat the crown level and you beat so many crown levels in one area, then you open up something else. So yeah, there's depth in the fact that you replay it, but you're not replaying it just to do better. When you replay it, which is genius, you're playing a different aspect of that hole.
Okay, so it's like more content, not just like go faster or get a better score.
Yeah,
but it's
it
something
actually is
totally
more
different.
content. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's like my favorite thing. Is like I hate score chasing, and I hate trying to just like improve a run or something. But if it's like a totally different challenge, that to me is way more interesting.
It is. That's why I kept playing it. I could not stop. This thing is on my mind all the time.
Okay.
So good.
Okay. Did you finish it or not yet?
No, it's so massive. I mean, there's just so much stuff to do. I don't even. Yeah, it really seems like a lot. I think I'm 30%. They said.
Okay.
Done with it. And I played a ton of it.
This sounds like my jam. I'm gonna check this out. I'm pretty sure it's still coming to Switch, which I'm really interested in. But this sounds really fun. It kind of reminds me. I was gonna ask you. There was another crazy golf game that came out maybe like last year where your ball had feet and a face.
I love that game.
What,
I
do you know
talked
what that
about
game
it on
is
some
called?
podcast.
What is
Let
that
me
game
look
called?
up. I forgot what it's called. Oh no, it's pool. It's the pool one, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was kind of like that, and it was kind of like a yeah. You're right. You're right. I am wrong. I'm getting my white balls mixed
Pool
up.
panic.
Pool panic. Okay, but that's kind of what you're describing to me. But swap golf for pool, like as in billiards. Right. Is it kind of the same sort of a thing?
Yes and no. Like pool panic is only one main idea, and yeah, the levels were different. Like one time you're in a barn, and one time you're in a forest. But those mechanics kind of stay the same, right? So you understand what it is, but the locations vary. And this thing, everything varies.
Okay.
Right? Like literally, yeah, you don't even understand what you're doing. You're like, wait, what? How does this relate to the mechanics? And in pool, by the way, everybody check out Pool Panic. What a great game. And I don't think enough people check that out. It got 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 on a lot of scorecards. So Pool Panic.
Pool Panic. But so check out Pool Panic. But What the Golf sounds very interesting. I'm definitely gonna check that one out. That sounds really, really good. And so far, total recommendation, right?
Total recommendation.
All right, cool. All right, moving on is a title that I have been looking forward to for quite some time. This is one of those I've kind of become infamous recently on this show. I talked about it, I think, mostly before you came aboard. But I have this track record of like seeing games at PAX or on some kind of like developer stream or something, and getting like really, really excited about something, and then the game ends up taking like forever to come out, and I follow it the whole time and I watch it, and when it finally comes out, it ends up being super disappointing and I hate it. Like that's happened multiple times to me, and I almost don't want to have hope anymore because I hate the letdown feeling. But this is one, Lonely Mountains Downhill. I've been watching for I think at least 2 years.
I have too, by the way.
Yeah, I bet you have. Did you see it at PAX for the first time also?
Yeah, it's at PAX and then somewhere else. But I think I might have kickstarted it because I definitely played this before.
Okay, I've definitely played it before too. I played it on the Switch at PAX. I'm playing it right now on Game Pass. You were playing it on PS4?
PS4, yeah.
And full disclosure, the developer gave us a code for you to play this game on PS4. So just putting that out there. Yep. This is a game that is published by Thunderful. They are great people. I love the people at Thunderful, fairly new publishing house. It is kind of a third person. It looks, I don't know, like vaguely like an updated like Sight Bike sort of a thing. A little bit like Trials, sort of, but very clean polygon art style to it. You play a little dude on a BMX bike or a mountain bike, and you start at the top of a mountain, and then you just have to get to the bottom of the mountain, and you can do that by any means necessary. There is a trail that goes down the mountain, which is like the slowest, safest route. But if you want to like spice things up, you can also take like any shortcut that you want to. You can like ride your bike off a cliff, and hopefully that there's something down below that will catch you. Hopefully, if there's a ramp, you can like boost off the ramp, and hopefully there's like a ledge you can land on the other side. You can dodge between trees. And you basically just have to, like, there's a series of challenges too. So it's like the first challenge is like, just get to the bottom of the hill, however long it takes, however many crashes you do, whatever. Then it's like, get to the bottom of the hill in 3 minutes, or get to the bottom of the hill crashing less than 20 times. And then like the challenges go up and up. You can unlock more tracks, unlock little suits for your dude, unlock different kinds of bikes. So it's definitely got like a Trials kind of a flavor, although it doesn't feel like Trials. And so far, I am pretty into it. I have some thoughts, but I'm going to turn it over to you, Carlos. What do you think of Lonely Mountains Downhill so far?
Yeah, I love it. I am a sucker for kind of bike games in general. As I just mentioned earlier, I love fails. So this is
full of fails, dude.
Best fails, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the look of it, like you said, is simple. It's kind of voxel looking.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and the character is very nondescript, but it actually makes it easier to deal with when you send him off a cliff and he hits somewhere really hard, and he does bleed. He has these little blood voxels that come out, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, they really do a little bit of that physics. Not to go back to Session again, but they do it in a really good way where once you've hit something, it makes sense how the character kind of falls, and it looks really great. And by the way, speaking of that Imgur account, which will link in the show notes, I made a fail video of all these amazing fails in the game, and I just put it up this morning. It is so much fun to go downhill and pick your path, because basically you can hit R2 on PS4, you can hit R2 to just ride normally, and then you hit X to power up and go faster. And there's a amount that you can use of that, right? So that's a meter, and it goes down, and then it refills. Similar type of controls on different platforms, but essentially that's it, and then brake. And when you brake and you're going fast, it does this really cool kind of skid effect.
Yeah.
Which is very like fun to do. You know, it's very I don't know, just relaxing, but also nerve-wracking at the same time.
Totally. Like I'm still getting used to the controls. Let's dig into this a little bit because I like this a lot. I'm not a racing kind of guy, but I love Trials, and this has enough of that Trials flavor where it's kind of got its hooks in me. Like I really enjoy what it's doing, like riding this bike, picking your path, and it's really, really cool when you are going down a hill and you're like, okay, that looks like there may be something down below it. Like it looks like it may be like a slope. It's not on the path, but you're thinking there's probably something down there. You ride your bike down, and as long as you don't like go too fast or wreck or something, like you can ride down it and land. And there's been a couple times when I've been kind of like slightly out of control, going too fast around a corner, and like you hit that, you try to brake, and it does that. Man, I mean, kind of realistic, like braking in a dirt, like, you know, you kind of skid and slide. Yeah. And if you go off that thing, there's been a couple times, I mean, I wish I would have saved the video. I didn't save it, but like you go off this thing, you're flying down, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to decapitate myself when I land. And then like you just kind of hit the edge of a wall or a cliff. It buffers you like just enough, and then you come down, you bounce on like a boulder that's just flat enough. And then like you roll off of that, and then you're down on the bottom, and you totally make it. And I'm like, oh my God, that was like fucking amazing. I can't believe I fucking pulled that off. That was so cool. Like those moments I think are awesome. I really dig those moments a lot. I have fails way more often than I have those cool moments, but when the cool moments do come in, really good stuff. I mean,
yeah, it reminds me of Session, like I said again. It's like when you pull it off after all those fails, you're like, yeah, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And I had that same thing where I went up on, the side of a mountain somewhere, and I'm like, no way am I going to make this. And I bounced the back tire off of it. Somehow hit some other rock and landed on the path. I'm like, holy crap, it actually worked.
Yeah, when you can pull that stuff off, it feels amazing. But so let me ask you this, Carlos, because I like this game a lot, but I do have a couple of concerns. So let's talk about it. My first concern is the camera viewpoint. Now, so granted, I'm still just learning the game. I only really started playing it like yesterday, so I am by no means an expert. I am just like noob to the extreme right now, so just learning my way. But as I'm playing through it, I feel like I really want the camera to be pulled back more. When you're going slow, it seems like the camera zooms in, and when you're going faster, it seems like it zooms out a little bit, which is fine, but I kind of want it to be zoomed out even more all the time, because if I could see more of the screen, then I could better plan my route. Because, I mean, I don't know what you think, but sometimes when I'm going down a hill and I'm like, okay, I can't see very much of the screen, I'm going to stick with what looks clear. But if I could have only seen a little bit wider view, I would have seen, oh, okay, well, here's this other potential path. And I'm not a big fan of just like driving blindly off a cliff. Like I kind of want to see if there's something down below it, or if there's like maybe a path I could be shooting for. I kind of want the camera to be pulled back more. How do you feel about the camera?
Yeah, I have similar feelings. I think part of it might be for the gameplay. I know that you might not like that answer, but I'm wondering if some of it's like, part of the challenge is learning the course. And, so the first time you go down, you're going to be like, I have no idea what's down there. And also the challenge of, like, you can't just see the whole thing and just, like, see where that short path is. Because I think if you don't see that short path and don't just know it, you have to, like, figure it out. But if you saw the whole thing, or at least a lot more of it, you might be like, oh, I'll just go to the left and bypass all this shit. So I'm just saying, devil's advocate, it might be part of the gameplay. But to your point and your defense, I don't like when the trees block my view. So you're going down, and a lot of times the trees will pop up into the camera, and then now it's not even fair, because then I can't see my character. So that happens sometimes, and that's the part that bothers me the most. But I think in general, yeah, I think they're doing that for the gameplay, but it is tricky too.
It's weird because I find myself going slow because I can't really see very much ahead. But if you go slow, it seems like the camera zooms in, which is exactly where I don't want it to be, which kind of suggests that they want you to go faster, but I can't see enough, so I don't go faster because I'm trying not to crash. But the only way to get a better view, apparently, I mean, if I'm not wrong, is to go faster. So it feels like they're kind of forcing you to go a little bit faster if you want to kind of play more optimally and get a better view. But I'm having a hard time clicking with that. I mean, maybe it's just me. maybe I need to practice more. But I feel like they're kind of goosing me in a direction that I don't necessarily want to go. But I'm gonna roll with it for a while and just see what happens. So that's one thing that is kind of on my mind about it. The other thing is, what control scheme are you using? There are two available. There's one where it is you are always steering left and right. Like if you push left, the biker will turn left no matter which way he's facing. So like if the biker is going downhill and you push left, then he will turn to your right. You know what I mean? Like it's like remote controls. Mm-hmm. And the other one is it's screen specific. So if your character is on the screen, no matter what way he's facing, he will always go left if you push left. So kind of like universal direction controls. Which control scheme are you using?
I'm using the one where wherever you push on the controller is where it goes.
Okay, that is the one I'm using also, because I felt like it would be too confusing to do remote controls on this. How are you finding the controls? Do you find that they are responsive enough, or like what's your feeling on the controls? Because this is a game all about control. Like if you don't have control of this, you don't have anything. So how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm actually going to post to my Imgur some of my successes too, because like that's a good idea when you were saying like if you were just recording, because once you get it down, you know, all those fails are kind of like almost like roguelike, which I despise roguelikes. Interesting. Is, you know, after you've failed a ton of times, you're like really good at that, you know, turn that was really hard for you. So like I just played this morning again for a minute and I was booking it down the hill on the first, you know, hill. Because I knew that thing. So I think the controls get better as you know the mountain better. Because I was flying, dude. You know what I mean? And I was doing the skid at the top speed because I knew exactly where that thing was. And I was like, oh, I'll just skid here and be able to make it. And I'll jump this huge jump where there's like these huge like cliffs, you know, and you can make it to another part of the cliff. And I was just making those with ease. So I really think it's just playing it enough, because the controls feel really good when you feel comfortable. But when you're like afraid, I guess it's like real life. If you're on a bike and you're afraid, you're like probably going to fail because you have to like be confident. You know what I mean? And I feel like my confidence level is getting pretty high now, which is not to say that they make the maps get harder, because I'm in like the second mountain right now. And one of those challenges is, again, a timed event, which I think is a little too hard right now. I wouldn't mind those being a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But like some cliffs or some rocks will just show up, and I'm like, dude, even if I knew that was coming, that's tough. So I'd say my gripe is, and this is my only real gripe with it, is not the controls, because to answer your question, I really love them, but it's that in order to open up free ride, which is obviously super fun because you can just go wherever you want, do whatever you want. The only way you can open up free ride in a mountain is to beat all the regular levels, beginner stuff, and the expert stuff. And some of the expert stuff is tough, man. Like, even the first hill, it was like, get down the hill in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And that was really tough. So I just wouldn't mind free ride being open. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree. I mean, the very first challenge is called like Explorer, so it's just like get to the bottom of the mountain. And that's kind of what I've been using as my free ride. But I agree. I'm still on the first mountain, and I'm trying to do the challenges, and some of them have taken me like several tries. Like, it's definitely not an easy game, even though like if you look at the graphics, it seems like it might be kind of a fun, easy breezy sort of a thing, but it's really a lot more demanding than it looks. And so those challenges are not easy, and I still haven't cleared them all. So I'm working on that. Haven't gotten to the second mountain yet, but I'll get there. But yeah, I mean, I think a free ride is kind of a thing that should always be open, because that's the kind of thing that really encourages you to learn the mountain and to explore and experiment without being too worried about how many crashes you have or how much time you're spending. So
right, I thought when in the beginning it shows like kind of tutorial, like, hey, push this button to do this. I thought it was going to give you like a free mountain, you know, like just one mountain it doesn't have any sort of events. Right. That's what I would love for the developers, even just throw in, you know, as a patch or something. Like, hey, here's Bunny Hill. You know, here's the one where you just do all the shit and fail and have fun. And I feel like it might have been in an early version of what I played. I don't remember, but I feel like I played a camp in that game that was just not attached to, you know, a level. But I will say this last thing is what's really cool also is the statistics. So they put a bunch of that in the game, so you can kind of like see what your hardest crash was, and not videos or anything, but like. Which actually would be cool. But, like, you know, just, like, farthest distance and hardest crash and all that kind of stuff. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, those stats are always fun, super fun. So, I mean, I'm still learning it. I'm still not very far, but I really like it. And this is, I think, one of the few times when a game that I have been wanting for a long time actually turned out to be really good. There was one other one, Plunge. Did you ever play Plunge? That was at PAX for a couple years in a row. Did you play Plunge?
No, I didn't.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what that game is?
I don't at all, no.
Slight tangent. That was another one on my list where I looked at it for like 2 years. It disappeared for a while. It came back. It released on Switch, on PC. I'm not sure if it's on PS4 or Xbox One. It's like a isometric. It's one of those games where like it's a puzzle game where your character, like if you move them, instead of moving one square, they slide all the way to the other end of the map. It's like every map is like made of ice, and so you have to be careful about your moves. And you play like a person who's descending into like this infinite dungeon. That was another one I was looking for a long time. I talked about it on the show a little while ago. Plunge was a great one. That turned out to be really great. It's still on my Switch. I love that game a bunch. And now I can happily say that Lonely Mountains Downhill also turned out to be a winner. I'm really digging it so far. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to like complete every challenge. And I got to tell you, man, those time challenges really fucking stress me out, dude. Like I just get stressed. I like playing it when I don't care about the challenges. That's really fun. And then the stress comes in with the time, but I'm still digging it a lot. I think this is a really cool, really fun game that I'm gonna look forward to playing more of. I think it's coming to the Switch soon. It's on Game Pass for free right now if you pay for Game Pass, which is fucking nuts. And you're playing it on PS4, right?
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up real quick. This is my truly final statement, is that you said you don't like the time things, and that's the most difficult thing in that game. I found a pro tip last night.
Okay.
Because I was not sleeping and I was just playing this game. It was so whenever you get a checkpoint in the on the mountain.
Yeah, several checkpoints down the mountain.
There's several checkpoints, right? So once you cross a checkpoint, say you did pretty damn good, like you got the first checkpoint in like 30 seconds or something. Now, as soon as you get that checkpoint, go explore. Go anywhere you want. Try to find the quickest route down. Crash a ton because it resets to time and puts you back at that marker.
Okay, so you're not actually adding any time by
you're not adding
around.
time.
Okay.
Other games do that. This is the proest tip of the pro tips. You just go and fuck up. Like I was like, I'm gonna try to go down the side of the mountain because I feel like that might have a path. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you just eat shit, but you just die a bunch, and then it resets you. And so I actually beat the first Mountains Expert Challenge by doing that.
Okay, so that's an excellent tip. So like it only keeps the time if you cross the next checkpoint. So if you fuck around and find, like you're saying, like find the optimal route, practice that route, do it perfectly, even though it may have taken you 100 tries, it only counts that one perfect one when you cross the line, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's very fair. That is very fair. That sounds like very.
They didn't tell you that, so. I just had to like keep trying, dying, and I was like, oh yeah, look, it didn't even reset. So cool.
Okay, that is absolutely a pro tip. Thank you for sharing that, and that will be of great service to our listeners. I think everybody should try this. Agree?
Oh yeah, holy crap! I mean, this and What the Golf are like just super addictive.
Wow.
Super
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We are talking about some good ass games on this show, which is a change because we usually, I mean, Corey and I. We brought bummers to the show fairly often. We were not afraid to talk about bummers, but we are talking about some good shit so far. Let's see if we can turn that around.
Oh, we can. We can.
Carlos, I've talked about Fortnite on the show. I mean, rarely. I almost never talk about it, but frequent listeners of the show will know that Fortnite was my #1 most played game of last year, which sounds crazy, but it's true. I don't talk about it, but I do play it quite a bit. What is your history with Fortnite? And you're the one who added it to the script. What did you want to talk about?
I bring it up just because I mentioned it on my podcast recently. And, the whole thing happened where the black hole appeared and sucked out Fortnite. And Fortnite was gone for a couple days. Essentially, it was just them shutting down their servers and rebooting it with a new map. And a very, smart marketing idea.
It's crazy when the biggest game in the world goes completely offline for 2 days. That is nuts. That is a
right. So then you
that is
just
a baller
hide it.
Move. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you hide it in this kind of black hole thing, which, by the way, it was done brilliantly because, like, if you were in the menu screen and that black hole event happened, you saw the black hole even in the menu screens, which was so hard to do. As I work in a game now, at work, just figuring out network stuff and peer-to-peer stuff, all that stuff, it just seems crazy how they pulled that off. So kudos to them for that, but not kudos to them for a very terrible game for a brand new player. The first time I ever played it, I got headshot immediately, and someone like built a huge tower like on my corpse. You're like,
well, okay. All right, wait. Let's back up. When was the first time you played it? Was it after the black hole, like with Chapter 2, which just launched, or
No,
when
the
was your
first
first
time?
time?
No, the first time was when it came out. Like, I try everything. So.
Okay, so back in the day. So like last year, 2 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
a couple of years probably. And
All
so, I was just like, well, yeah, there's a bunch of people here, and they have their friends. They're like just mic chatting and having fun, and I'm not part of this thing, and also I'm terrible at it, and you just get killed right away. And in general, I'm not like the super fan of just a basic battle royale because it just is the same exact thing each time. And I definitely want like difference in dynamics. So didn't enjoy it, got killed right away, didn't really have any expectation or want to get better at it. And then the second time I was like, well, let me just try it again because maybe they did something different. There's a new map, who knows? So, and then the trailer they put out was like, wear crazy costumes, jump out of a van that's like, and full of colors, and look at all this crazy shit that's happening. You're riding a boat. Holy shit. You can have some fun. So I thought I'd just go in and have some fun and see some craziness. I got the opposite of that. I basically, when you start Fortnite, if you don't know, you don't customize your character unless you pay money. So you just get a random character, and I had a blonde woman, and I couldn't change anything about her, or it was a guy or girl, nothing. And I just landed somewhere and had my little pickaxe, and I saw a car, and I was like, oh, just get in this car and drive around. It'll be fun. And I couldn't get in the car, and I was like Googling how to get in car in Fortnite,
Okay.
like an old ancient person. And there was no answer, by the way. I think they're for show still. I don't understand it. But I smashed the car into bits and made like, resources for myself, and then ran towards the middle of the map so I could see what the craziness was all about. And the storm was getting me because, that's what happens in this game. Like a little ring appears, and you've got to get inside that ring before time runs out or you're dead. And I ran by all these cars that I couldn't get in, and then I died. And I was like, this is great. But then, hold on, here's my final piece is I was like, well, let me go in the create mode and see what that's all about, because maybe I could just have fun like Minecraft or something. And that was no fun at all, too. Very confusing how you put down pre-made buildings. Unless I had a ton of people with me that were on mic chat, I was just by myself making this thing for nobody. And then I played like some levels that people had made where you couldn't do your Fortnite skills in it. You could just like walk around and read a story or something. And I was like, I'll never come back to this. And I never did.
And he never did. Well, that's interesting because I remember when I first started playing Fortnite. I mean, okay, so just background. I started playing it before the Battle Royale mode even existed, like when it was just PvE.
Right.
Way back when it first launched. And that was okay. I played it for like a week or two. And then it just got really grindy, and I kind of bailed out. And then the Battle Royale part showed up, and I'm like, okay, I'll give this a try. Not super into it, and I just was like, I'm not that great of a shooter player. I'm more of like a strategy guy or like a roguelike guy or something. So it wasn't my genre exactly, and I just kind of bailed out. But I eventually got back into it because my son was really into it, and so he and all his friends were playing it, and he's like, Dad, you got to play with me. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I'm the video game dad. How lame is it that I don't play games with my son? So I should definitely play this with my son. So I got back into it. And once I learned the ropes, I agree with you. I think the tutorial, there's not really a tutorial. They just kind of throw you in and you just kind of figure things out as you go. I guess they're kind of hoping you've got friends or something, or I'm sure there's like a jillion YouTube videos if you want to learn how to play. So they don't really tutorialize anything. But I will say that now that they have started Chapter 2, which is everything that's happened after they did their 48-hour black hole go offline news event that everybody was talking about. Once it came back, it became Fortnite Chapter 2 with a new map, and they made like tons of changes. Now, maybe not immediately apparent to you because you haven't played that much, but I think they have actually done a lot of things to make it way more comprehensible and way more player friendly to newcomers. I mean, they've added bots to the game, which I think is amazing. There were never bots before, so in the old Fortnite, every single person you saw was a real person, and they were all better than you, guaranteed.
Yeah, but how did I not see any bots my entire play session?
I mean, maybe you did and you just didn't realize it.
No, I saw no people. I got dropped on the outside of the map because I was trying to be sneaky. what you
Okay.
do in battle royales. And if you're going to make a map that big, then let me go to the edge of it, right? So I was by the beach. I had resources there. There was nobody from anywhere. I didn't see one person in my whole match. I guess I omitted that. I just saw resources and trees, and I ran towards the middle and died. So,
Okay. So you probably just took too long gathering resources. The storm caught up with you, and you died in the storm before you got to like where the action was. Is kind of what it sounds like.
yeah, by the way, we should stop calling them storms. In our game, Scavengers, you should check out scavengersgame.com. Hey, it's a plug. No, but it's an actual fucking storm. I'm tired of people saying storm. It's just a blue line. There's like no weather effects. It's not a storm. Anyways, hey, you're out of the battle royale now.
All right. I mean, that sounds like you had like that's, I guess, natural consequences way of learning. Oh, I died in this blue line or the storm or whatever. I should get to the center of the map quicker next time. I mean, yeah, they could put up a prompt that says, hey, get out of the storm or something. But, I guess they kind of assume you're going to learn it. But in addition to that, if you had gotten to a part where there are people, you would notice that they have a new system where they look at your win record or some kind of metric like that. And if you don't have a lot of wins, like most of your game is bots, which I think is awesome because the bots are stupid. You can kill them really easy. So it teaches you how to play the game without those bots being lethal. If it was real people, which is, like it was when I started playing, you would just get headshot every 5 seconds. It's not fun. But playing with the bots, they're all really dumb. You can kill like 15 of them without really being in any danger. It gives you good practice. It lets you feel good about yourself because you've killed a couple guys. It teaches you just like how the game flows. And then by the time you get to the end of the game, if you survive that long, you'll meet a couple real people, and then that's like when the challenge ramps up. I think it's really smart what they've done. I really like those changes. There's also like a million little UI changes, like when you change the gun, like a little text will come up telling you which gun you have, and little changes about telling you who's on your team. And there's like all these little tweaks there that I think are great. But again, I think there is no tutorial, and I agree with you. I think a lot of people would kind of benefit from just having hey, this is what Fortnite's about, and this is how you play. Like they should do just like a starter level.
Yeah, and also I'm really I wish I would have known that thing you just said about the bots before I played, because again, nothing told me that unless I was like reading patch notes.
You would never know that unless you read the patch notes.
Yeah, so I would have went to the middle. Do you know what I mean? When I first started, I would have went to middle, and I would have felt good about myself, killed some people, but I immediately thought Fortnite, go to the middle and die. So,
which is traditionally how it was, but that is definitely a change. I'll challenge you with this, dude. I know this is maybe not your jam. That's totally fine if it's not your jam. But maybe try it again. Drop, like when you get off of you're parachuting into the map or whatever, go to like one of the places that has a name, or like go to like a city or something, because there's guaranteed to be bots there. They usually drop in the cities or the towns that are scattered throughout the map. Drop down. You'll see how dumb they are. You can kill a couple of them. You'll feel good to get a couple kills racked up. And then you'll just kind of get like a better flow. Like, you find.
Wait, but then real players show up, or how does it work after that?
Yeah, like if you're a brand new player, you've like never won the game, you've barely played it, you're gonna start like basically a clean slate. Your game will be like 85% bots. Like almost every single person you meet will be a bot. And then like every like once in a while you'll meet a real player, and you'll be able to tell because the bots like they just look dumb. Like they're not doing stuff that normal people would do. Like if you shoot them, they'll like move a little bit, but they won't necessarily shoot back. They won't take cover, or sometimes they'll take cover, but like not very effective. They just seem like really stupid.
Do they build a lot?
No, they don't build very much. Like usually bots will build one square of a piece of wood to hide behind, and that's it. Whereas real people build like these towers and these weird, tunnels and whatever they build. So So you'll kill a bunch of, you'll rack up like 15 or 20 kills before you meet another person, probably. I mean, if you don't have bad luck. And then you'll just get more of a flow for it. So maybe give that a try. See,
I will take the challenge. I'll take the Fortnite 2 challenge again.
You may not like it, but at least you can see how it goes. And if you want, you and I can jump on, dude. I'm happy to jump on because I play basically almost every day. So if you want to jump on at nighttime,
you do.
I do. I never talk about it, but I do. I play a little bit every day.
It's like your secret.
It's like my secret shame. I play Fortnite like every day. So
yeah.
Jump on tonight or tomorrow or this week or something. It's totally a shame thing. But come on.
Okay.
I will show you the ropes. I'll give you a little tutorial. We'll play a little bit, see if you like it. You may not like it. If you don't like it, that's totally fine. But I feel like my best experience with Fortnite came when someone kind of walked me through the ropes, and I feel like I should like pay it forward.
Okay, I'll say this. Yes, I'll do that. And also for the show, I'll do that so we can talk about it. 2, I will never have a community of people and friends to go hang out with, and I don't want that. So I feel like that's a big part of it and a big draw. So that's why I don't think the longevity will probably be there for me. And 3, I've reiterated many times, and I'll do it on this show many times. I don't want to play something where I just land somewhere and kill people. Like, that is -0 fun for me. So I know there's a creative element to this where you're like building things. Some might say forts, but I don't see how I would have fun even if I figured it out and got really good at doing all the things. I don't know what's there to draw me in, but I'm willing to do it for the show.
All right, let's get together. Let's do it, because there is more to the game than just killing people, which is actually killing people is my least favorite part of the game. So
that's what all the streams are. Every time I look at a stream on YouTube or
don't watch the streamers, man. Don't watch those streamers. Those guys are crazy. No, don't watch the pros. Don't watch the people who do it for a living. Hang out with me. I'll show you how to find the fun. You may not find it super fun, but there is other fun to have in Fortnite that's not creative, and it's not killing people. So we'll talk about it in the show. Talk about it in the show. Okay. We'll do it. Okay. Moving on. I am contractually obligated to discuss a game coming up that I was provided a code for from the developer. Thank you, developer. It's called Felix the Reaper. This is a newish game. I meant to get to it last time we recorded, but I was in the middle of moving, and it's really hard to talk about things when you are living out of cardboard boxes. But Felix the Reaper is a third-person, like, tile-based puzzle game where you play as, surprise, surprise, Felix the Reaper, who is responsible for arranging deaths for people in the real world. He, lives in a spirit world, and when he shows up on a little map, little maps are very small. They're just like tile-based with little objects in them and stuff. You cannot exist in the real world except in a shadow. And so in every map, there is the sun, and it's casting a shadow. So, if you stand behind a tree in the shape of the tree's shadow, you can be there. You can also you have the power to alter where the sun is, so it goes back and forth between maybe the sun will be north, click a button and the sun will be east, and so it kind of gives you two options about where you want to stand in the shadow. You can move from shadow to shadow, so most of the game is about manipulating the sun to make the shadows link up so that you can walk safely from place to place, because if you get in the sun, it just kills you and you just get warped back to the place where you started from. It's not really high stakes, but it's just kind of annoying, and it blocks you from progressing. In each map, there is a person that you have to kill, but it's not as simple as that. What happens is you end up having to set up these Rube Goldberg / Final Destination sort of chains of events. For example, there's a guy in one of the maps is you got to kill this guy. So, but instead of killing the guy, his friend kills a deer. They're out hunting. A guy kills the deer. So you got to arrange for the guy to kill the deer. Then the deer is dead. You have to arrange for the deer's head to be stuffed and mounted and moved to his cabin. So you got to make your way through the map to get to the deer head, to make it move to a certain place. You can move it yourself and put it in the right place. The next map is mounting the deer head onto the house, and then the guy's got to walk and look at the deer head. So you got to move things around on the map so that he can walk to the deer head and that you can make that happen for him. And then the fourth map is making something happen to where the deer head falls down and stabs the guy. So that's ultimately have to kill. It's a 4-step process of each one of those steps is a small puzzle that you have to get. So it's not you actually killing anybody. You're just setting up things in the environment to happen that'll trigger something else, that'll trigger something else, that'll trigger something else, and then eventually your person dies. So it seems like a very kind of I don't know, just reactive, kind of using the environment to kill your person. So the art style is really cute. Felix the Reaper is this chubby, got headphones on, loves to dance. He's constantly dancing. And he's a real likable looking dude. He looks real jolly. He seems like a real fun kind of a Reaper that you wouldn't mind hanging out with. The art style for the game in general is pretty cool. I like how it just looks. It's kind of pastel colors. Everything is kind of semi-abstract, and it's just got a real pleasant look to it. It looks like a very appealing kind of a title. And I jumped into this, wanting to see what it's about, and I gotta say, as soon as I started playing it, I started cooling off really quickly. I gotta say, I don't like the way this plays, which is a shame, because I think setting up those chain of events is kind of fun. I think Felix is a fun character. I like the way it looks. It's got a lot going for it. If you look at this on a trailer, it seems really appealing.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and that's what drew me in.
It's cute. It looks really good, right?
Yeah. My question, though, real quick, is that it all takes place in this kind of hex map, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what turns me off sometimes, because like the things you just explained was really interesting. Where like you had to do this and to make this happen, and those felt like story beats. But if it's all taking place on this kind of like grid map, does that take some of the fun out of it because it's more like a puzzle game, or that's not why you don't like it?
That is exactly why I don't like it, but I don't think it's necessarily because it's a grid map. I think they could totally make this work. But so the problem with Felix the Reaper is that this is a very persnickety step-by-step game. So it's not a free-form game. If you look at the trailers, it kind of seems like you have more freedom than you do. But what happens is you start a map, you're standing in a shadow, you can barely move anywhere. So you have to figure out, what can I move in the environment? What can I pick up? What can I push to make a shadow for me so that I can get to the next shadow, to get to the next shadow, to get to the next shadow, to get to the thing that I need to get to. And as far as I can tell, there is only ever one solution. Like there is a very specific order of operations that you're supposed to do. It's not make it up as you go along. It's not freeform at all. So like if you can't figure out what your next step is, you are stuck. And the developers realize this because they give you a hint system where you push this button and it'll give you like an arrow pointing to something that'll be like, hey, this thing over here. But it's not really good enough because the tutorial in this game is awful. They don't really teach you the mechanics. And it wasn't until a fair distance into the game that I figured out you could, pro tip, stack things on top of other things to create longer shadows. That would have been really helpful to know. I didn't really realize that for like a long time. And just like how you move things is just very like, okay, move this garbage can to this exact square. And if you rotate the sun, it'll just barely reach this other shadow. And if you walk over here, then you can move 3 squares this way. And it's just like very, 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 just too finicky, man. Like it's just not fun because all you're basically doing is trying to read the developer's mind about what exactly they want you to do. And to be fair, I mean, a lot of puzzles only have one correct solution. I get it. But just something about how tedious this is and how many wrong steps you can make and how often I was leaning on the hint button. I mean, I was hitting the hint button constantly. Like I was just like, I don't get it. What am I doing? What was my next move? I can't move here. I can't move here. I'm getting frustrated. It just didn't flow and it didn't come together the way that a natural puzzle game does. And I just felt like I was trying to read the developers' minds. It didn't feel like I was really solving anything on my own. It was just like a lot of frustrating guesswork, and I just really quickly cooled off on it. So I just wasn't having fun. It was not having fun, dude. It felt like hard work.
Because when I saw like you said, I saw the trailer and the personality in it and the character, it's kind of misleading because then I saw the map and I got scared, and I guess I rightfully so, because what you're saying is not the type of game I like, where it's like you do this exact thing and if you don't do it, then you fail. That might be a through line with what I like, what I don't like in games.
I think we just did some self-discovery there.
Yeah, we have a lot of that maybe on this show. I'm getting some psychology. Felix the Reaper, yeah, and also I heard a great story about it, how it took him so long to make the game, and man, that just sucks.
Yeah, the developers are really putting out a lot of videos, and they made a lot of cute videos about the making of the game, what all the hard work that went into the development. They spent a lot of time working on the character, making the character super appealing, and it's like, yeah, man, like you guys are so on point with so many aspects of it, but the gameplay is just not fun, and that's really what it comes down to. It just does not feel fun or pleasant to play. It just feels really annoying. And I got stuck in one map where I couldn't figure out the move they wanted me to do. I knew what I needed to ultimately do, but I couldn't figure out how to get there. And I was stuck, and I just got really frustrated, and I just had no idea what to do. And even with the hint system wasn't really helping me because I wasn't sure what I could do, and it just wasn't really clear. And I just like all the air just went out of me, I just lost the will to play this game. I lost the will to continue, and it sucks because Felix is really fun. It looks like a cool dude that I want to party with, but I just don't like this game. I just really don't.
Let me leave an optimistic ending to it.
Okay.
Because that's what I do, and I would say that they did spend so much time on this character and this kind of I don't want to say story building, but at least environment and aesthetic. So maybe they can take these assets and make a second game, right?
Absolutely.
Make it a platformer. Make it something else where you have a little more free form. It's not tied to these puzzles, and we all like the character and the design. So that would be my suggestion if the reviews keep coming in like this,
I agree. I think the world is cool. Felix is cool. The vibe is cool. Like, they've got so much good shit going on here it's just the gameplay that lets him down. I would totally play a Felix the Reaper platformer or even a music game because he's constantly dancing. He's doing dance moves and he's got headphones on, and music plays no part in this game at all. It's just window dressing, which I think is a missed opportunity. It would be really cool if there was like a little quick rhythm section or something to take advantage of that. But I would love to see Felix repurposed. So I agree with you. I think this is too good to let it go, but in its current form is just not a good time. So anyway, Felix the Reaper, there you go. Now, I got to be honest with you, Carlos. I got to be honest with all of our listeners. I had every intention in the world of playing this next game, but as we all know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That is one of my favorite sayings. Have you heard that saying before?
I have heard that, yeah.
I love that. I'm going to tell you, like, dropping some truth here. I have two favorite sayings in the entire world. This has remained true for me for years. One of my favorite sayings, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I love that saying. The other saying that I like is hell is other people. So fucking true. So between those two sayings, you can get a pretty good grip on my life philosophy. So anyway, long story short, I feel like I've been talking a million years about this, but the point of me bringing up the road to hell is paved with good intentions is because I knew we were going to be talking about the Outer Worlds, which is something I'm really, really, really excited for. But life was just too much, man. I did not even get a chance to start it. So I had intended to be like 6 hours deep by the time we recorded the podcast, and I could have all sorts of thoughts and opinions. We could banter about it. I have not even loaded up the game. So I apologize for that, man. You're going to have to carry the load on Outer Worlds this week. Can you do it, Carlos?
I can. But I am excited for you to get into it, and then we could talk about it on a future episode.
Well, we will definitely talk about it, maybe like next episode. I fully plan on getting to it tonight. I just, one thing after another, and I haven't talked about it a lot, but I just moved into a new place, and so like I got like cardboard boxes all over the place. I'm trying to get, everything squared away and just trying to get through my daily life because everything's, upside down, topsy-turvy right now, and I just did not have a chance to get to it. But tonight, I feel like tonight is my night.
Yes.
I got some time. I got some free time. Gonna make some dinner, and I feel like tonight is the Outer Worlds. But until then, we're keeping our listening audience on hold forever with this meaningless banter. Let's get to the juicy stuff. Carlos, the Outer Worlds, coming from Obsidian Entertainment, I believe, who I love.
Yep.
Tell us all about it, man.
Yeah, they are famously the ones who did Fallout New Vegas, which people talk about.
Which I love. Fallout New Vegas is the best.
People love it. I mean, I grew up with Fallout 1 and 2 and have a special place in my heart for those games, and I like Fallout 3 a lot, and Fallout 4 has issues. But New Vegas was, incredible. And they also did this game earlier, I want to say this year, called Tyranny.
God, man, I forgot about that. You're right.
Or you play as the bad guy making difficult decisions.
Exactly so.
So I like that. And they're really great with decisions and murky waters and gray areas. And that's how this game starts out. I'll get to the gameplay and look of it in a minute, but just know this, Outer Worlds, I was about to say Fallout New Vegas.
New Vegas in space.
Yeah, Outer Worlds New Vegas is, more of the same. It feels huge, but it's also these little pockets of areas where you can, have this great stories and all these decisions and quests. But it's not like open world huge. It's not like this massive place where you're just walking for miles and go to the north and way to the west. This is like these little small sections that you go and have stories in. And the decisions from the very beginning get a little gray. I'll give you an example. There's a sick person, and he's like, you got to get me this medicine. And I was like, okay, I guess so. I'll go get it. And before I leave, or just as I leave his place, a lady comes up and says, hey, are you going to go get that guy some medicine? And I was like, damn, you're like listening pretty closely to my conversation.
He's dropping much?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she's like, yeah, he's a hypochondriac. Don't do that. Actually, you need to give it to me for this other stuff. And I won't spoil the ending to that, but it actually goes in an interesting way. And immediately I was confused on what to do. So there's a lot of that in this game. And the setup is you are basically woken out of stasis. The old, hey, you're in a pod somewhere and you're in sleep, but you're going to wake up and, oh, wait, where are you? And there's a bunch of other people that are also frozen in this kind of stasis setting, and you have enough medicine to get out, and this crazy scientist helps you and says, hey, you've got to go scour the galaxy and find more stuff, let's just say, to go wake up the rest of your people.
Okay.
So that's the beginning, and it also feels a little bit like Fallout 4 because it's kind of similar to that beginning of Fallout 4. There's definitely a through line here where a ton of stuff feels like Fallout, and it makes a lot of sense. They lived with that world for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, given the pedigree, it makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah. So, but I don't fault them for it at all because it's their version of that type of storytelling as well as that type of gameplay.
And let's get real for a second, Carlos. Like, the Obsidian version of Fallout is the best version of Fallout. And people who like the Bethesda versions, I respect that. But, like, honestly, in terms of, like, writing and scripting and plotting, they don't hold a candle, man. Obsidian is they're the shit when it comes to this stuff. They're the best.
Yeah, I gotta admit that. I think that you're right there. I mean, you think about the early ones, you think about New Vegas.
Yeah, it's the best. Gunplay cannot replace good writing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, you might not know this, but I play Melee for everything. So
do you really?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, I'm a Melee guy for every single game I play, including the one that we're working on. I won't mention it again. One that I'm doing at work. But no, seriously, I love it to death. And so whenever I get a Fallout game, I just find the big hammer. It's usually called like Big Ass Hammer, and I just upgrade that hammer, and then that's how I play the game. Fallout 4, I just destroyed fools with that hammer. So, so the combat in this game, there's shooting. I don't really do it much, but you can have companions. So you can have up to 5, I think.
At the same time, or just like one by one?
I think you usually pick like 2 at a time to come out with you.
So like a max party of 3, but then you've got 5 potential people to choose from.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know what the max party is because I only met 2 so far.
Okay.
And I did want to bring both of them because they had great personalities. But it's that kind of thing where you really do want to like the person you're with. You can tell them to fuck off and they won't join you, but actually like the people who are with me. So you have the companions. You kind of upgrade them as well. Standard RPG. They do their own thing. They're pretty smart. They're not really stupid, but if you set them to aggressive and go and attack everything and don't have the correct armor, they will get, wiped out pretty quickly. So you think about that a little bit, but it's not like a ton of your mind share.
Can you just revive them if they go down? Like, they're not permanent.
Yeah, they just wake up after they've failed.
That's cool. That's the best way to do it.
In real life.
Just like real life.
Yeah. So in general, you're this guy who's kind of going around space in this kind of one galaxy, not all of the world, or not all of the universe, but just kind of this one little area of space. And you've got a spaceship, and you can land and dock places from a kind of a major map that you look at and just kind of fast travel to places you want to go to. This is not like a spacefaring game where you're driving a spaceship. You just go to different points on this galaxy map and do different things, and the locales are quite different. And in general, the whole story is about corporations. A couple warring corporations own most of the galaxy, and so even some of the NPCs you meet, they're like doing slogans of the corporate. Like one of the corporations is called Spacer's Choice. And so after they talk to you, they're like, yeah, you know what, though? Before I leave you, the best choice is Spacer's Choice.
They just bring that up in a conversation.
Yeah,
are they contractually obligated to say that?
Actually, no, it's not the best choice. It's Spacer's Choice, which is not a glowing review. But so that corporation thing kind of comes through in the fact that everything you're doing, without spoiling anything, is about, yes, trying to get this stuff to revive your people, but also realizing the state of this galaxy, which is these huge corporations taking over tons of towns, basically towns built around corporations, and you're deciding who you want to help and do you want to go against this corporation at some point. So that's the setup. Gameplay is really fun. You can slow down time. Similar to
the VATS.
VATS combat it's not system. All the way down. Like VATS was it stops time. This is just slow down time. So you hit a button, slow down time, able to get off a couple attacks, go back to the regular fight. I don't really use it a ton, but it is kind of nice to just set it up when you're going into a bunch of people to kind of give yourself a couple minutes to think where you're going to go. But with my big ass hammer, I just knock fools down.
Sure. Rain death down from above.
Yeah.
Are we talking first person, third person? Do you get a choice?
It's only first person.
Only first person.
Yeah.
And what is I guess it doesn't matter that much, but how is the customization? Do you I'm assuming you strap on all sorts of different weird pieces of armor and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of the norm. Is that happening here?
Yeah, there's tons of armor, and you can tinker with things, right? So there's workbenches, you can craft, you can break stuff down, you can add to your weapons you already have, like kind of just keep adding like 5 or 10 damage points to them, which I actually love. So you never really feel underpowered because you can work on your items. And the armor is funny because it is definitely cosmetic too. So it's not just like, the damage counters and stuff and the hit points, but like early on, you can just essentially get mech suits. So the role-playing part is a little weird because you just walk in all these places and I basically feel like Robotech, like all my companions are like totally decked out in like this crazy space armor. And, it's just a little, and then they cut to the cutscene and they're not fully like that because you got to see their faces. It's a little weird, but
It sounds a little awesome, more like it.
Yeah, no, I feel like badass. I only ran into one area where I was like underpowered, and what that meant was essentially I didn't have the armor. So pro tip, if you get to an area and you're just like dying quick, it's probably not that you can't do the damage, DPS or whatever. It's that you probably don't have the right armor, and you're going to get taken out quickly because they have better armor than you. So there's all these little vending machines around the town that goes perfectly in conjunction with the fact that corporations are everywhere. And just
can you buy a cod piece in a vending machine?
I didn't look for that. Maybe I should. But you can buy armor and weapons and everything you could think of, and each vending machine is a slightly different one. So, right, they could be like 3 vending machines in a row, and like the third one has like this crazy good armor. So check all of them, and yeah, you could totally get stuff everywhere. So,
okay.
And there's skill trees, of course, and leveling up and that kind of thing. And similar to Fallout as well, but done in a very interesting way. If you like fall a bunch, so like you fall from huge heights and hurt yourself, if you do that enough, it's like, do you want this flaw that you're like really bad at like falling? And I'm like, maybe. And what Fallout would do is it would give you these flaws you could pick, and if you pick them, you get extra stuff like perk points or whatever. But you also have these negatives, so it's kind of a
So it gives you perks based on how your play style. Like it kind of like auto detects the stuff that you do or the mistakes that you make.
Yeah,
and then
but
it'll give you something.
I think that it's interesting. It's a trade-off that they used to do with Fallout where they're not like bonuses. Like, oh, you're so awesome at this. It's, I think, mainly just fuck-ups. So, like, you do this thing badly a bunch, it's like, we think you might be bad at this. So, if you want to accept that you're bad at this, then we'll give you something, which is this perk point. So you get a trade-off. You get something cool, but you also admit that you're, like, shitty at falling. Which is an interesting way to tackle it. But, yeah, man, I got to say this. Okay, this is my final statement, I think.
Yeah.
And we could talk about it forever. I really could. It is game of the year almost. It's contender game of the year for sure. It feels like the perfect type of game that I want to play. I said on Twitter, I want to play this game forever and ever. And I really don't. I just want DLC for it. I'm already thinking about that. It just feels so good. The way you loot, combat feels great. The progression feels great. And then every character you meet, you actually, like New Vegas, you care about the situation. And you start getting invested in all these little mini stories. So
that's the most important thing, like, by far. Like, I don't care about... I mean, combat is combat, loot is loot. But if I give a shit about the characters and the stories, that is the hook that gets me in.
It's so interesting. And they actually do things with, like... this is a minor spoiler. So if anybody's want to know, minor story spoiler. Coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2... There's a girl that you can originally pick up as a companion. And, romancing's a thing in games, so I'm just automatically starting to think about that. And she's really cool, all right? And do you want it to be... Maybe you don't want to be spoiled.
Maybe I don't want to be spoiled.
Okay, let me say this. I'll be vague about it.
Okay, be vague.
I'm thinking one way about her, and she's thinking a totally different way about me.
Okay.
All right? And but the thing is, I was hook, line, and sinker, and they play with that. They go like, you think you know what this character is going to be like, but actually it's this. And they do that a lot already.
Okay.
Which is
I'm
really
down.
cool.
I love that. I love the twisting of the expectations, man. That's great.
Yeah, it's super cool. Fuck, this game is really, really,
Okay,
really good.
Well, all right, let's put a pin in it for now. I'm gonna play this tonight. I gotta do a thing. I'm gonna come back home. I'm gonna play this tonight. I'm gonna play it tomorrow. We're gonna talk about it on the next episode, guaranteed. So let's put a pin in it for now, and we'll. I don't know how long it is. I've heard people say it's on the short side. I don't know what that means. Maybe are we talking 10 hours? Are we talking 20? I don't know.
Can't be 10. There's no way.
Okay.
Yep.
But we'll find out. We'll find out, and we will do a much deeper discussion next time. How's that sound?
Looking forward to it.
All right. Excellent. I just have a couple of quick things to mention, and then we are going to get to our closing segment. So for me, quick shout out for Into the Dead 2, which is, I believe it's on Switch. I think it just came out yesterday. I've had a pre-release review copy for about a week and a half or 2 weeks. Full disclosure on that. This was something I encountered on iOS a long time ago. I think it was like when I very first got an iPhone, and I was like, oh, I bet there's all sorts of neat and interesting games in the Apple Store. Yeah, that's what I thought like years ago, and I very quickly realized that was not correct. But this was one of the ones that I did play for a while when I first got an iPhone. So the original Into the Dead was a first-person game, which was like a first-person infinite runner. So just imagine that you can't stop running, but you are running forward, not side to side. Like it's not 2D, like it's third person or first person. You're running forward, and you're in like this real tall, grassy field, a cornfield sometimes or whatever, and it's dark, and you're seeing these shapes come at you as you're running forward, and they're zombies, and so you can tilt your guy left or right to like avoid the zombies. And so you're running forward. The point of it was just to get as far as you could get. You were eventually going to die. Like I don't think you could ever finish that game. But it was pretty compelling. Like you could play it for just a couple minutes at a time, and running in first person like that through a shadowy area, something about that felt kind of cool. And I thought it was pretty fun. I played it for a week or so, and then I got tired of it because you just couldn't finish it, etc., etc. And I forgot about it, and I haven't thought about it for years. And then the developers reached out, and they're like, "Hey, do you remember Into the Dead?" And I'm like, "Wow, yeah, sure enough, I do. Blast from the past." And they're like, well, here's a sequel, and you want to play it. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that I do. So they sent me a code. It's basically the exact same thing. But this time, graphics majorly improved. So it's not just like shadows and darkness and stuff. Like there's actual like real graphics, all sorts of different levels. There is a story mode. So you actually can finish it this time. There's a certain number of levels. I think there's like 30 levels you got to get through. Nothing fancy as far as the story goes. It's like a guy gets separated from his family. He's got to make it back to his family. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen a zombie movie, you know how this goes. So not too crazy on that aspect, but I do appreciate there's a beginning, middle, and an end to it. And as you go, there's also some upgrades. You can collect different kinds of guns. Every time you do a run, so it's kind of run-based. You want to finish a level, and if you finish the level, you'll get like a little gold or a little item or something like that. So you can use the gold to like get different guns, level up your guns. You can also, one of the coolest things is that you get companions, and there's like all sorts of these animals you can get. You can get like a multitude of dogs. There's a bunch of dogs. And as you're running through the field, the dog like runs in front of you, and each dog does something different. So the dog that I have now, like every 90 seconds or something, he will like take out a zombie that's in my path. So if I'm running and I can't get out of the way of a zombie that's coming at me fast enough, that dog will like leap up and like grab him by the throat and like take him down, and I can keep running. So it basically like protects you from like getting one hit every 90 seconds or so. There's other dogs that do other things. Like if a zombie grabs you, it'll like rescue you from being grabbed, or there's one that like finds you ammo, that kind of a thing. There's also like exotic animals. There's like tigers. There is, I think there's a bear.
Bears are fun.
Yeah, bears. There's also DLC for this game, which is, I think it came out the exact same time the game released. There's a tie-in to George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. So they do a short story, beginning, middle, and end DLC, where you play as characters in the Night of the Living Dead universe. And there's also a Ghostbusters tie-in, legit Ghostbusters.
What?
You can be a Ghostbuster, and there's like the Ecto-1, and you got your proton pack. You're running through zapping ghosts, and you can have Slimer be your companion, so he will like fly with you and like protect you from zombies and stuff. I haven't gotten through all that yet. I'm still doing the main story. So I really like it a lot. Now, caveat, I like this a lot, and I've been playing like 1 or 2 runs a night, and I think it's really cool, and I dig it. But I will say, you can tell that they developed this game for still mobile and not console exactly, because they do have a little bit too much of the like in-app purchases feeling. Now, to be clear, there's no in-app purchases for this. You buy the game once and that's it. You get the entire game. There's no DLC. There's no pay to win. Nothing like that. They don't want any more money from you on the Switch. But what happens is you have to do these runs, and some of the levels have these challenges that you need to progress. It'll be like kill 20 zombies with a shotgun, or kill 5 zombies without reloading, or something like that. And sometimes you just can't do those until you have done a couple runs, gathered some resources, and bought like an upgrade. Or sometimes you get these temporary upgrades. You'll get like an upgrade that's like, oh, you start the game with like 50 more bullets, or when you find ammo, you get 10 times more ammo for like one run or something. So it's got the feeling of like in-app purchases, but there aren't any. And I don't know what this is like on iOS. I guarantee you though that there's purchases on iOS if you played it. But that's not the case on Switch. You get the whole game for free, or in one purchase. You can also get the DLC. I think it's really fun in short bursts. I have not finished it, but I dig it, and I'm still chipping away at it. So I think it's really cool. But just as a heads up, I'm a little bit scared that the further I go, the more it's going to feel like I need to grind to kind of take the place of in-app purchases. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm suspecting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures of it, and it looks arcadey. Apple arcadey, iOS, Android arcadey.
Yeah, very much.
So I'm sure they designed it with that in mind first, and then they just ported it. So maybe it's a little weird because there isn't that level of leveling up by buying stuff.
Yeah, it feels a little strange that it's not optimized for console. Like, I think the progression should be paced a little bit differently. I think some of the systems should be a little bit different when you're playing on console with no expectation of pay to win. So I can't say how it holds up in the long run, but I will say that it has been keeping my attention, and I have been doing a couple runs a night, and I have been having fun. But I don't know that I'm going to finish it if it gets grindier than it already is. So we'll see. But definitely worth checking out. I think it may be on Apple Arcade, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I said that not knowing, but I just saw iOS. But yeah, it seems like, kind of a quick time waster too, right?
Yeah, you want to play something for like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 7 minutes. That's your ticket.
Yeah.
You jump in, you do a run, you finish it, you get a little bit of gold. You see your dog kill a zombie.
The companion thing's really cool. I like that.
It's so cool. It's so fun. I love watching that dog run ahead and just take down a fucking zombie. It's the best. So
wait, side note, did you get a dog yet?
Yeah, I got the first dog. I have not unlocked the second dog.
No, in real life.
Oh, you mean in real life?
Because I heard you mention you were going to get a dog.
Yeah. We were going to get a dog because we have a yard. We have not had a yard in like more than 10 years. And my son really wants a dog. So we told him once we moved, the place we were previously living did not allow dogs. So we're like, that's off the table. End of discussion. But now that we're in this new place, we can have a dog. But we need a fence. We got to put in a fence first.
Yeah.
Once we get a fence, we may talk about it. But, having a pet brings up all sorts of other questions. I mean, we do not a lot of traveling, but we do some traveling. And so it's like, well, what do we do with the dog when we travel? We do activities and stuff. There's a lot of questions. Well,
I'll tell you what you do. The dog, it's called the dog hotel.
Oh, man. That's expensive, though. It traumatizes the dog. I don't know, man.
I'm saying that to myself with like inside joke that I have a stand-up bit about a dog hotel. Anywho. Yeah. I hope you get one at some point, though. They're super fun.
Oh, we will. Yeah. I've had them before. I love dogs. My son is like crazy mad, eager for a dog. So there's one in our future. We're going to get some chickens also. That's going to be a thing we're going to do. Whoa. I'll talk about that on the show.
Oh.
We're going to do urban chickens.
Urban chickens, and also
we're going to do a dog.
There's chickens in outer lands or outer worlds.
Are there alien chickens or are they real chickens?
No, they're regular chickens. They're everywhere for some reason, and you can talk to them. Like you hit the talk button, and they just like make a chicken sound.
Oh, they don't actually talk.
But they don't do it. I feel like there's probably an achievement there somewhere. Anyways, we're off the rails.
We are off the rails. Let me bring it back. I just got one more quick game to mention. I am contractually obligated to mention Valfaris, which just came out for Switch, but is also on PC. I believe it's on every platform right now. This comes from the same people who made Slain. Slain was a 2D hack and slash, pretty hardcore game. Came out maybe last year or the year before. I really did not like Slain at all. I thought it was way too hard and way too cheap, and I just had like zero fun with it. But we got sent a review code, full disclosure, and Jared Johnston did the review for us at GameCritics.com. He did the Valfaris review. He raved about it. He loved it. He had like nothing but good things to say about it. And he was like telling me all about it. He's like, Brad, you got to play this game. This game is fucking dope. I love it. It's so good. And he gave it like almost top marks, which I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you have this one, boo. But I don't know if this is gonna be good for me as it was for you. So I'm checking out Valfaris. It is a 2D pixel-based side-scrolling shooter. It is not a Metroidvania, although there are weapons to pick up and there's upgrades and stuff. But it is not a Metroidvania. It is just a level-based game, similar to like your Contra or something like that from back in the day. There's a few little secret areas here and there, but basically it's all about running from left to right, shooting everything that moves, and just pushing ahead, upgrading your weapons as you go. There's kind of a gothic tone, heavy metal tone to it. Like your main character has like the really long kind of like rocker hair from like the 80s, and sometimes he'll pick up a weapon and he'll like throw up the devil horns and do some head bashing. Apparently there's a lot of like heavy metal music in it. I don't know if there is, because I usually play it when I'm in bed and my wife is sleeping, so I have the sound off all the time, but apparently there's a fair bit of good music if you like heavy metal music in there.
Yeah, that would be a draw for me, because I'm looking at the art and it definitely is that heavy metal dude running from left to right. But if there's good metal music, it sometimes can make it for me.
Yeah, I'm hearing good things about it. So I jumped in and I played a couple levels of this, and I gotta say it's just not my jam. Like, it just did not click with me. I feel like I just got kind of frustrated for whatever reason, and it's not like I don't ever play hard games. And I think this is, I wouldn't say it's the hardest game I've ever played, not by any means. But I feel like, I don't know, I just couldn't get into the groove. I couldn't find a rhythm to it. Maybe I equipped the wrong weapons, or maybe I just didn't give it enough time. But as I went through, I was like, okay, it's like a 2D shooter, that's cool. And I appreciate that it's not a Metroidvania, that's for sure. Not every 2D game needs to be a Metroidvania, not by any means. In fact, I'm kind of tired of that genre. But, I'm just playing it, and I'm like, okay, well, stuff is coming at me, and I'm shooting things, and I'm dying, and I'm retrying, and it just didn't click. Like, I just wasn't feeling a hook. I wasn't feeling any connection to the character.
And it's not too hard, then, in general?
I feel like it is hard. I feel like it is hard.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It's not super hard, but I think it is hard. And I got to a level where I just kept dying a bunch, and I just didn't really feel compelled to rise to the challenge. It seemed more appealing to me to kind of shut it off and just move on to something else. So
does the checkpoint system suck as well, or is it just kind of
no
saves?
That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because it actually has a pretty interesting checkpoint system. There are checkpoints which are unactivated throughout each level, and you pick up these resources. When you pick up a resource, it gives you more health, and I believe it increases your attack power. But if you want to activate the save point, you have to give up that boost. So it's like you can keep the boost and do not use the checkpoint, and you'll be a little bit healthier and a little bit stronger. But if you die, then you get put further back. Or if you're not feeling it and you want to use that checkpoint, you can deposit that resource into the checkpoint, activate the checkpoint, and if you die, you'll start from there. But then you will lose the buff to your attack and your health. So a pretty cool risk and reward system. I like that out-of-the-box thinking. Very interesting. So kudos on that. I just wasn't really clicking with it. I just didn't feel really engaged with it. So, clearly it jibed with Jared. He fucking loved it. He said, possible game of the year for him.
Whoa.
Not for me, but for him. So for me, it was like, okay, cool. I get what it's doing. Not feeling it at this time. Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I won't. But it didn't really click with me. But Valfaris is a thing. If you like heavy metal, if you like that kind of stuff, if you want a 2D shooter that's not a Metroidvania, maybe check it out. And there you go. Any final questions on that, Carlos?
No. I just I'm really interested in, after we get done recording, I'm going to listen to the trailer so I can hear the music, because music does do a lot for me. It can like make the journey more fun, and you're like just having fun because you're rocking out and destroying things. And I do like that save point idea. But also, if it's super hard, I'm usually out. You know what I mean? If it's too hard. So I like I might check it out.
I wouldn't say it's super hard, but I think it was like super hard. It was hard to the point where if I wanted to get past it, I needed to give a shit about the game, and I didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it wasn't. I've played way harder games than this, but I cared about those. Like like Hollow Knight, for example. Hollow Knight is hard as fucking balls, dude. But I like that game. I like the main character. I like the world, and it gave me the energy to kind of progress past those barriers. And I would, hang in there and try that boss 10, 15 times. Whereas in Valfaris, it was like, okay, I died, but do I really want to dig deep and push forward? I kind of don't care.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I landed on that. But
Okay.
Anyway, that is all the games we are going to discuss for the show. But we are going to be doing a regular closing segment, which I am very excited about. And Carlos, you are the star of this one, so you are always going to get the final word, which I'm very happy about. Carlos is going to be talking about games coming soon or the games you are excited about. What is the official title, by the way? Do we have an official title?
We don't have an official title. Games coming soon sounds cool, but it's also not really fully the right answer because these are okay. So I'm playing games right now. Maybe we could break it up into two sections. Games we're still playing now that we're going to talk about in a future podcast, or just games that I'm excited about, because that's what originally I had it as.
What about games coming up? Because it could be in the sense of we're going to talk about them coming up at a future date, or it could just be that they're going to be released soon, so they're still kind of coming up.
Okay.
Any games coming up?
Yeah, so I got a bunch.
All right, lay them on us, man.
Let me jump in, and I'll just list them off and give a kind of one-line thing on why I'm excited about them. I'm playing Concrete Genie right now. It was going to be reviewed today, but I want to give it some more time because I know that game switches at some point and turns into a different type of game, I just found out.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Which is really cool. So I want to experience that and then talk about it. Cat Quest 2 I mentioned last episode. I'll probably download that next week. Outer Wilds I'm also playing right now, but I'm not, farther enough along to talk about it. And I know everyone's kind of already played it, or a ton of people have already played it, but it's so interesting and cool. John Wick's Hex.
I'm stoked for that one. I'm interested in that one.
Yeah, that's like What the Golf. It's on Epic Game Store, so got to jump over to that platform. And I'm sure I think it's on mobile. Makes sense.
It's coming to Switch. It's coming to everything, I think, because that's coming from Mike Bithell, and he's pretty well known for putting his games out on every platform known to man. So I'm pretty sure he's talked about, multi-platform domination. So I don't think it's going to be too long before we see it everywhere.
Okay, well, I'm going to try on Epic Game Store next week, so that's another one. And a couple more are Moons of Madness, which we got a code for, I think.
We did.
Horror sci-fi, which is usually done not great in my opinion, so I'm really excited to hope that it is. After Party, which is where you drink with demons in hell.
Oh, interesting story on After Party.
Really?
Well, I mean, maybe I'm talking out of turn on this one, but we reviewed their first game. I think it's Night School Studios. Does that sound correct to you?
Is it Night School? I think it is.
I think it's Night School Studios, and they put out. You're gonna have to help me out with the name. It was a bunch of kids go to an island to drink. They're gonna have a drinking party, sex weekend.
Overland, Night School.
No, not Overland. It's these kids go to this island on a ferry, and then they get drunk.
I know.
But then
I
also
played
there's
it and I beat it and I liked it. Okay, hold on. I'm looking it up.
All right, look it up. There's ghosts. It got kind of spoopy.
Oxenfree.
Oxenfree. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hated Oxenfree. I thought it was terrible. Did not like it at all, and I gave it a really scathing review. So when time came to put in a request for After Party, they're like, "Yeah, we're kind of out of codes," and I'm like, "Really? Okay, that's fine."
We can let me do the heavy lifting there then, because I liked Oxenfree. I didn't love it, but I did like a lot of the mechanics. Not mechanics. I like stuff about it and the feel. So, and I like the idea that some of the After Party's doing. So, I'll check it out.
I'm interested in it, man. Like, even though I really disliked Oxenfree, I thought there were bits of it that were worthwhile and worthy of exploration and like a new game. And I'm curious to see what these guys do. I think the setting is promising, and I think they had a great conversation system. So it's it wasn't like a trash fire or anything. I just really did not like it anywhere near as much as most people did. And you can read my review at Game Critics if anybody's curious about what I thought about Oxenfree. But I just thought it was interesting that, we didn't have a good review last time, and I guess we're out of codes this time around. So that was kind of a strange coinkydink. Anyway, whatever. I'll just buy it.
Okay, I only got two more, because I'm insane and I'm actually playing all these games I'm talking about. Citadel, I think I might get a code for.
Citadel Forged in Fire?
Yeah, at least, yes. Yeah, that's that one.
That is the one that is kind of like, it's kind of like a... what is the word? It's the Bethesda one, like an Elder Scrolls. It's kind of like an Elder Scrolls, right?
Which I'm loving. So
and you get to build your own castle or some shit, right?
Yeah, and if I get my hands on that, I'm definitely going to talk about it. And
okay.
The last one, real quickly, in my games coming up section is Paranoia. That game, it was a pen and paper role playing game that I played as a kid. Right. Did you play it?
No, but I know about it coming out. I just read some PR about it.
Well,
yeah,
I played this as a straight up D&D role playing game as a kid with the rule book and everything dice, and it was so crazy at the time. And essentially, you play as clones, and you die a lot and make the wrong choices, and then you just get reborn, and kind of have to figure out what to do better or something. It was just really ridiculous, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy kind of writing.
Okay.
And just bizarre and trying to be funny and really very kind of comedic pen and paper RPG. So with that and my history of it, I found out that there's this kind of top-down isometric view game coming out based on that title. So I'm interested.
Excellent. All right, well, that is quite a selection of stuff coming up, so we are going to have a lot to talk about. And don't forget, folks, we are still on the bi-weekly schedule, so that'll give us plenty of time to play stuff, talk about stuff, get our thoughts ready, and then we will, again, I'm sure, deliver a motherload of a show next time. Any other games coming up, or is that it for you, Carlos?
That is plenty.
I mean, it's plenty already, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you very much for that. And with the end of that segment, that brings us to the end of this show. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Carlos and I will be back in 2 weeks with another episode. In the meantime, as stated earlier, we would love your questions, comments, ideas, suggestions, feedback. Our contact info is still the same as it ever was. sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. You can also post comments for us at gamecritics.com when the show goes up there. We are on Twitter as a show collectively @SoVideoGames, but you can reach us individually. Carlos, where can people find you on social media, and what would you like to pimp this week?
Onawa, Onawa, that's me. Say hi, talk about video games with me. A lot of things is my podcast. You can find that on all your podcast services. And I just brought that back for, in quotes, season 3, where I talk about not just games, mainly talk about stuff I watch, YouTube, Netflix, and things like that, and books I read. So you can check out that podcast. And also, a lot of things 8 on Imgur. It rolls off the tongue. Look for me over there. We'll put a link in the show notes, and you can see the GIF from that downhill game, Lonely Mountains.
Oh, that's right. It's the fails GIF, right?
Yeah, it's got 2,000 views already. I put it up before this podcast started.
That was me. Sorry, I just couldn't stop watching.
Whoa, you watched a lot of those fails.
I know. It was pretty damn good. All right, thank you, sir. And as usual, folks, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is it for us. Thank you once again for joining us on the So Video Games podcast. We'll see you in 14-ish days. But in the meantime, this is bye from Brad.
And until next time, we meet virtually on a podcast from Carlos.